All right, hello and welcome everyone. Doug here with the LincolnList.com, back again for another weekly edition of Stock Market Mutterings. I'm sparing you the grizzled mug down in the far corner because it's going to take me too long to edit this, and I just want to get the info out as quickly as I possibly can. This is for the week ending on the 8th. We had some great stuff that we were talking about last week. We saw some great moves in Tesla, Netflix, BABA, and a couple of those other ones. So we're going to try to build on that. As always, we're going to start out here with the market, take a look at the SPY, and just kind of get an idea of where things are going. And like I said, what you really needed to pay attention to early on was that 268, mid 268 area, 269s, to see if that was going to hold as the week progressed. You got down there a couple of times, and being SPY, as it has done, the undieable one that it is, managed to fight its way right back off of that support, shorter term support, of course, and you got a nice little pop, got a nice little rally late into the week. Now, it was a shortened week because we had the 4th of July. Obviously, we had a half a day on Tuesday, all the day off on Wednesday, and the volume was really, really light. There was a lot of great opportunities for sure, but the volume still was light across the board. So really what's important is to see how this builds going into Monday morning. Are we going to start working our way back up to 280? And that's what will ultimately become the test here. Is we're working between 280s to the upside for, well, that would be near term resistance here. But if you get above 280, then maybe you really start to see a heavy bull run. And then, of course, support is still support down here at the bottoms, which is the 269. Just say 269 is a good area to start watching. We get back down in there later in earlier or later in the week, then we may see a test of this 200 moving average. But this 200 moving average is elevating. So right now, market's still holding on, leaning a little bit to the bullish side, but we'll see how the rest of the week goes. Again, the stocks I want to look at, again, these tech names just keep leading the way. That's all there is to it. I mean, you saw big moves from Amazon, Google, the rest of them. Here's Facebook just sitting right there at a daily chart breakout. And if I'm thinking right, this is an all-time high. My chart's not going back far there, but I'm pretty sure you're right there. I mean, you're breaking out here on the daily chart. And what we've seen, especially no matter what the market climate is these stocks that get up to highs, daily chart highs, and break ranges on dailies have been some pretty powerful movers. Now, this is not one of the stocks that's like a Netflix or an Nvidia where you can catch a good move and get $3 or $4, but it does provide some pretty good premium, something definitely to watch. And I think it needs to digest just a little bit of this move here. It was pretty steep on Friday. You saw a lot of late day running up here. So maybe a chance to digest it, but you start seeing 203.60s, 203.70s getting taken out Monday. I think this is a long. You're probably going to get some pretty good cash out of that. Obviously, earnings coming up for some of these, but you got a little bit of time, so watch Facebook. Same thing, the bigger names coming back into play. Twitter, which is something we've talked about here for, I don't know, last couple of months. Just a long fade here. You got a fade going from June 15th, almost a month here, just sliding down into the moving averages. And of course, the big market pop there on Friday got this thing going. It's very, very close. I would be paying attention to this 47.50s. You got about $1 out from that. If you start seeing that, just like a Facebook, you're probably going to get a pretty strong move, another daily chart breakout. And just like I said, the market's been playing favorites to these. They've been really, when they have been breaking, they have been going. So watch this one here. Another one that's Roku. It's been a long time since I talked about Roku here. Now the thing is, Roku, it's been sketchy for me. I've had a few trades with it. I can't say that I'm sitting here writing it on my all-time favorite board. For some reason, I can't seem to get on par. It's like when I'm buying this one here, it's just acting so sketchy, but that doesn't mean anything. That means absolutely nothing going forward. Just another one here. It's a range break. Now, this one's something that's not pressing at an all-time high. It's maybe a little bit different behavior. If you get over this 47.60, which has been resistance, we're going back again to the middle of June. So that's pretty good. You got a nice spread out, longer-term point of resistance. You should be able to get back into some of these levels from February, which is about the 52s, maybe the very tip of that, which is 52.70. But for right now, I would look at somewhere for a run. If you clear 47.30s, then you should get up somewhere around the 50s. That's your next area of resistance. Again, these stocks should trade from one level to the next. So once it clears that range, you should see it. Again, I think a lot of these have already pressed up close. What would be nice is if we had maybe 1 day or 2 days of consolidation, confirming these moves a little bit better, but you don't always get that kind of chance. Now, I'm going to talk about this again because I think this is like week number 3, maybe even 4, Etsy. And I haven't I haven't put a trade on Etsy in the last. I know it's on every single week of these mutterings, and I've never. Maybe this is it. Maybe this is the week, as they say. 15th time's a charm. Again, you're starting to see a pattern here of all of these stocks. Is that the market was going through some choppy behavior, but there's a lot of these that didn't do very much as far as pulling back. And again, like I said before, in a lot of these past watch lists, especially for you new people out there learning technical analysis, you're looking for that relative strength and stuff. Is that when the market's weak or the market's having its problems, if you're looking at stocks that are just staying tight, staying strong with their patterns, if and when the market makes a turnaround, these are usually the ones that go. So you're looking at Facebook holding up strong over the last couple of weeks. Twitter holding up well over the last month, and this one holding up well since the beginning of June. So now it's starting to press back up towards its highs. Look for those highs, 45.88. So with Twitter and with this one, you're within $1 of those range. You got a couple of nice strong up days. Again, if these things start breaking these daily ranges, you should see some bigger moves. And I can probably guarantee you, which is very hard to guarantee in the market, that between Facebook, Twitter, Roku, and Etsy, those 4, if you got all of them, one of them's going to go. One of them's going to go through that high, I'm pretty sure. But the million-dollar question is which one. And last, I think I'm going to throw TTD. I've talked about this one here a little bit before. It's building up a lot of consolidation. Looks like a stock that's also going to break out here on the daily between 95.38. So you've seen in this watch list, even though the market has gone through some choppy behavior, you still have a lot of stocks here festering themselves at highs, some even at all-time highs. Now, when you look at TTD and Etsy, one of the things I want to just kind of mention here, I don't know what level of trading that you're on, if you're a swing trader or a day trader. If you're day trading, you're probably going to be better off looking at Facebook, Twitter, Roku. You'll probably get a little bit more momentum, a little bit more volume in those names. They have a tendency to carry a little more range. Twitter can be questionable as far as its range. I mean, if you're trading big size, none of that really matters. But Etsy and TTD move a lot slower. Maybe that's the reason why I haven't executed any trades on them. They've been kind of slow. So maybe these are something that you want to look at from a swing trade, which is holding it for a couple of days, or you're going to have to use some larger size. And I'm sure that comes down to a lot of the volume. You can see the difference in volume between them. So anyway, a very brief stock market mutterings. We had a good week last week, even though it was shortened, a very good week. It was nice. It was nice to have a day and a half off. Weird to have a holiday in the middle of the week, but it was nice to have the day and a half off. Again, the important thing to look for as we progress is, are we going to continue this bullishness early on in the week? Try to make that move to 280. And how is that volume? Because it was kind of anemic last week, and we have a holiday in there, so we could be getting a couple of mixed signals, but we're all going to figure this out. As always, if you need help with your trading, feel free to visit thelincolnlist.com, click on the Trade Room tab. Take care, trade well, and I'll talk to everyone next week.